Okay, this is my Poulan Pro engine test stand. As you can see, the wiring is installed. The harness is also being stripped back. Basically, if I can find it here, right here, the white wires, this would have went back to the safeties. I cut and spliced them together. And then same back here with the grounds. I actually reused the original ground loop. But you can see them right here. On the machine side, you have 4 wires for ground. You have 2 where it meets up at the very back. So I just took put 2 of one, 2 of the other. And this will actually be the very first test of the electrical. On this harness, you do have provisions for voltmeters right here. It's either this one right here is for a voltmeter, or it's this one right here, one or the other. I'm actually pretty sure it is this one right here, because you connect one to one side, one to the other, if you used the standard voltmeter. But this here is a positive wire, and then there's also a ground right here as well that you do have in the harness. So I just left all that intact. Like I said before, I do plan on putting a voltmeter in here, so I'll probably have to tie into one of those red wires. But that red wire acts like a loop, basically loops back into the harness. It's more of an amp gauge than a voltage gauge. I would prefer to have a voltage gauge, so I'll probably tap into that and then tap into the ground, or I'll tap into the blue wire. As you can see, the fuel tank is also installed. Unfortunately, the way with the bracket, this came off of the engine that will actually be put in here first to be tested. I couldn't choose really how I wanted it fully mounted unless I wanted to modify the bracket, which I didn't really want to do. But the fuel line will be right here, and it will come around something like that to the carburetor. I'll obviously put a inline shut off before the filter, and we should be good. I'll get rid of the elbow on the end. I'll save this line. So for some preformed lines are okay, like these ones, but others are not. But this will be the first time putting power to the harness. No sparkies. Also, this is still set up for Kohler. I will leave it Kohler. Also, I'm going to set it up for the 2-plug Briggs and the single Molex plug that Briggs and Tecumseh's and a lot of the newer engines have as well. And if I do even older engines, I'll just run a alligator clip to the kill wire. The charging side should be the same for just about everything, unless if it's different, again, alligator clips. So the solenoid over here should click. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna grab a light and we'll make sure and we'll confirm that that red wire is getting power. But the way the solenoid was clicking, we should be good. Okay, test light is in circuit. See what happens. Okay, it works. So the only other thing I might have to add to this is an engine ground. Some like having engine ground basically straight from the main ground or straight from the battery straight to the engine. If I have to add that in the future, I will, but hopefully I won't. This machine never had an engine ground in the first place. Really, I only find them on Kawasaki's and Kubotas, primarily Kubota tractors with Kawasaki engines, or Kubota tractors with aftermarket engines. I find they don't like grounding 100%. You do have to have a separate engine ground. But there we go. Everything is wired up. It is working. I'll show you the wiring I took out. This is everything that went to the back, and some of it was under the hood. Like these 2 plugs here were under the hood. One would have been the clutch brake safety. The other one would have been for the mower engagement. At the back, on this particular model, it had a neutral safety switch, which was this connection right here. And this one right here would have been the seat safety. So really, if you have a machine and you really want to eliminate all the safety switches right straight out, this would work. Just take your black leads, connect them together to ground, and take your white leads, connect them together. I don't condone doing this. I would never do this on a machine that's actually being used. I actually put safety switches back, and I even put backfire prevention solenoids back. So I definitely don't condone doing stuff like that, but it's your machine, your choice. If your kid drives through your garage door, it's on you, not me. There's actually videos on YouTube of kids driving through garage doors because the parents thought it was a good idea to remove safety switches. The only time I actually do remove them is if it's a really old machine, and I definitely do tell the person that I'm selling the machine to that safety switches have been bypassed, but I definitely try not to sell machines like that. If I can put them back, I put them back. So anyways, that's pretty much it for this. Next step on this will be to mount that engine in here and get it tested. Also got to get that red wire cut down, make it match the ground wire. So if I do put a battery in here, it will be a good length. So obviously that's still the length where it would have went to the back, since this machine did originally have a rear battery. I installed the battery tray up front, for one, to give the dashboard a little bit more stability, and two, if I don't always run this off the jumper pack, I definitely want a place to put the battery. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.